good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our workshop. My name is Anya Bobadilla, and I am a part of Gabe's team. Today, along with my colleague Cynthia, we're both right here. We'll be supporting you with any questions and monitoring the chat throughout our session. I will also be the session's timekeeper. So you may hear a bell or a verbal reminder when our time is coming to an end. Now I'm excited to introduce to you our presenters for today, Miss Rachel Farrell and Kate Norton. And I'll go ahead and pass it to you, ladies.
Thanks. Hello. Hi, everybody. We're so glad you could join us on this Friday afternoon. We're so looking forward to sharing with you about some really great National Geographic Learning products for your second language learners. We're going to focus on some of our newcomers and share with you some of the new technology that we have during distance learning. Just a quick background for me, and I'll let Kate share in a second, is I am a Southern California born and bred, have taught in the classroom from preschool through high school, and lots and lots of time with second language learners in my classroom when I taught in Costa Mesa. So anybody out there from Newport Mesa, I'm there with you in spirit. And been working with National Geographic for almost 8 years now in a wide variety of capacities. And I'm here to share our English language learning products with you today. Kate, you want to give a little background information?
I will. Hi, everybody. I'm a little bit of reverb there. I'll move my scarf. So I'm coming to you today from North Carolina. I am not from California, but I love California and really want to move there because it's amazing. And I love your whales, and we visited so much. The earthquakes scare me, not gonna lie, but I still, I'm pretty obsessed with California. I think about you all the time. And you'll have to forgive me because it's 7 o'clock here on the East Coast. And so my family is home and my teenagers are here, and I will go on mute, but you might hear the squeaking of dog toys or yelling. Anything could really happen. So I'm sure it's similar in your homes as well too today, but thanks so much for having us. We are really excited to show you all of these new programs that are going to really make a difference for your students and especially for your newcomers. So with that, I think Rachel and I are going to go ahead and we're going to remove our cameras just because it helps a bit with the bandwidth. And we're going to go ahead and pull up our presentation.
Yeah, so just a little housekeeping. If you have questions, go ahead and put them in the chat so that we can get to them at the end. And if we don't get to them, we'll make sure we get back to you. But that will help keep us flowing and make sure we have enough time and don't lose anything at the end, okay? Okay, so our quick overview for today, we're going to talk about why National Geographic, what sort of makes us unique, and then we'll talk to you about some of our distance learning programs and our new programs. And I'm going to let Kate start with us today.
So, you know, I know a lot of you have grown up with National Geographic and the magazine, and some of you may be new to National Geographic Learning. So regardless of what program you are looking at for English language learners, I want to tell you what sets National Geographic Learning apart from everything else out there. Your students are going to see themselves in the pages of every single book. There is no organization more culturally responsive and culturally aware than National Geographic. And we were the first ones that brought the beauty and the wonder of other people and places to the living rooms and kitchens of the world. Research tells us now that culturally responsive materials also help activate prior knowledge, it builds background, and we know from research that 80% of what is learned in a day is forgotten in the first 24 hours. But if we learn something new and can relate it to something that really matters to us, then we will retain that knowledge. And that is our goal. Another thing that sets us apart is that we use cross-curricular content to enable learners to bring the world to the classroom. Students and teachers explore real people and places from around the world and the important issues that affect all of us. There's a wide range of topics that we cover, from art to history to science. and students are learning something new about the world, and they're asked to understand, evaluate it, and finally communicate these ideas in English. Love this image here of the volcano. That's one of my favorites too. So these cross-curricular topics, you can see here again, another one from plants. We've actually gotten different photographers that have taken images specifically for these books. And look at this image, you know, of color matters. You know, as a teacher, as an EL teacher, think of all of the things that you could do from this, even with newcomers, kind of the base level of name all of the colors that you see in this image. And then digging deeper and deeper into Bloom's taxonomy, you know, maybe would it make a difference if this image were in black and white? Or, you know, have you ever been to Carnival, right? All of these things really get learners talking, and that's key and makes us different. One of the other things we pride ourselves on is our National Geographic exclusive content. We like to say that all of these people, all of these National Geographic explorers in our books are Googleable. Again, we're trying to excite students, get them interested, and maybe when they learn about some of the explorers and some of the content in the books that they're learning in your class, they can immediately go and say, oh, what is this explorer doing? What are we learning about today? What are they doing in their lives? And many of them actually happen to be English language learners themselves. So it's this National Geographic content, whether it be about animals or about STEM or about social studies, that makes us different from everything else out there. It's not made up stories that we have that are in the basis of all of our books. It's real, and only National Geographic can bring that to you. So some of the other things that make us different: integrated skills. So we've incorporated reading, writing, listening, and speaking into the vast majority of these books. So you are not going to have to go elsewhere and try to pull things off the internet or pull things that maybe you used, 15 years ago in the classroom. Everything is right there, baked in for you, whether you're teaching newcomers or long-term English language learners. And finally, time. I've put this image up here. This is what I call a visual pacing guide. Some of you have 30 minutes each week with your students. Others of you have an hour a day with your students. All of these new programs are scrappy. They can be used in lots of different ways, whether you're pulling your students out or pushing into the classroom. All of these programs are going to work for the time allotted in which you have. So we want to show you some of these brand new programs. This is for elementary school. You can actually see at the very top level here, Look and See and Welcome to Our World. These are our brand new pre-K programs for English language learners. As you move down in the K-5 band, you see Look, Our World, and our brand new Reach Higher. When I say brand new for Reach Higher, this has a 2021 copyright date. Both Look and Our World are 2020 copyright dates. So these are state-of-the-art programs. And then as we move down for middle school, grades 6 through 8, we've got time zones and impact. We're going to talk an awful lot about time zones in just a minute, because this is one of our, it's got a starter program for newcomers that have no exposure to English. And then on the next slide, you're going to see at the very tippy top, some of you may not know, but National Geographic is now in partnership with TED Talks for our English language learners. It's like the holy grail. And I love this partnership with TED because your students have the opportunity to learn English through authentic models, providing content and presentations for public speaking skills. As if that were not enough, the topics are real and the topics are relevant to your students' lives. So the very first band you see across the top for high school English language learners, these are all programs that have 4 integrated skills. So life, perspectives, and world English, those across that top band, have reading, writing, listening, and speaking all baked into the program. That next level you see have 2 integrated skills. So you can see on the left-hand side, Pathways has reading, writing. It's also got listening, speaking in a different strand. And then there's 21st century communication, listening and speaking. So if you've got English language learners that are very, very strong in listening and speaking, maybe you need one of the programs that really focuses in on reading and writing. And at the very bottom of the screen, you're going to see single skilled programs. So I know writing is so absolutely critical for English language learners. If you need something just for writing, this great writing series is going to start students who, again, have very little exposure to English and scaffold them all the way through to how to create a research project. So I know that all of you want to know, where can I find these programs? Where can I get samples? Where can I find more? So you'll have to hang on till the end, and we're going to tell you all of these things and how to get samples and find out where to find more of these programs. But now I'm going to let Rachel take it away and talk specifically about our brand new newcomer programs.
Thanks, Kate. So you'll see here, these are our newcomer programs. Our World, Look, and Time Zones all create or all have a starter level within the program. So that first book of our program is really for those newcomers, those students who arrived either with no English or a non-Roman alphabet or interrupted instruction, who really need survival language. So it's letters and colors, numbers, basic vocabulary with real world examples, simple topics with very clear lessons, contextualized language practice for them to be able to communicate in the rest of their classes, communicate with their classmates on the playground. It's that survival language they need to be able to jump into learning in the US. So Our World and Look are for our elementary, K-5 program, and Time Zones is the middle school and high school program. It really could roll down all the way to 5th grade if needed, but each one is a starter level book, and they're consumable books for you to use with your students to really get them interacting, get them listening and speaking, and even some reading and writing right away so that they can jump into the next level of their book and then start their instruction. So we'll take a little peek inside the newcomer book for Time Zones. So you can see, really easy to follow, great pictures. This one is about greetings. You'll see that reflection of the multicultural perspective and awareness of what's going on, the beautiful, amazing imagery that we have, so that they can learn this language. Starts right away for them in the very basics. Oh, sorry, I hit the wrong button. Here, where are you from? What a great image, right? Of all these flags being made by people sitting in the stands. They may be able to see their own flag there. We are really culturally responsive and want the students to see themselves in all of the programs, especially these, though, the starter levels. If you're new, you want to know that where you came from is important. So we want them to feel respected and welcomed and honored. So just some great programs, great spreads within the program, very easy to follow, easy to understand and recognize and get that basic language started for them. So you can see the topics are key and important for them to be able to make those lines of communication open with their classmates and with their teachers so that they can really know what's going on. So here's the part of the practice book. It's a combined book for them, but there's even academic language with these great graphics. So they can really easily understand what's happening and be able to communicate with their teachers and get those kiddos up and running and ready to participate in all of their classes. So you see these great pictures. Look how welcoming they are and easy to follow. So you can see that this level is really great for the middle school, a great reflection of them, and the high schoolers to be able to jump right in. You know, I could even see at the bottom, the greetings even included a fist bump. We probably in today's age need to do that new elbow bump. to keep them updated, but we try to keep it as current as possible so the kids are involved and creating curiosity and engagement. So you can see even with our numbers, we've got some great photos going on there. So our starter level books include, like I said, the student book and a workbook together. So it's really easy for them to have one book to track and use. We're one of the only newcomer books on the market with interactive digital. And if we have time at the end, I'm hoping to take you live to see some of our interactive pieces. And it can be paired with any other middle school program or high school program that we have as a great starter. So once they finish the starter level of time zones, they can jump right into the next level of time zones or impact or perspectives or pathways, whatever program your school or district wanted to go with. So as I mentioned, we do have a really amazing technology and digital platform. We really believe at Nat Geo that students need books in their hands. Print books are the key for kids to learn. But we know not every district wants students to have books, and especially right now with distance learning, not every student can have a book in their hand. But even long before COVID, we offered a blended approach to our programs. Everything that's available in print is available digitally for both students and teachers. There's a full ebook available for students. They can have interactivity with audio and video support. We have online homework centers, online practice, and my ELT, so that students can have that extra support there, as well as all the digital resources a teacher could need. So you could have a full digital, a full print, or a blended program for any one of these pieces that we've been sharing, whether it be for newcomers or our lower level students, all the way through your LTELs. So when we talk distance learning, we have some great pieces. One of the pieces we offer that I'm hoping to have time to show you live is called our classroom presentation tool. And our classroom presentation tool is just that. It's the way you can present your student book online or through a interactive whiteboard. So it has full audio, full video. It has interactive activities for students to do in class so that you can see their learning. And lots of different approaches to those activities. It's not just the same, multiple choice kind of idea. It runs on a laptop, a desktop, a tablet, and many of our programs run on an app as well, where students don't have to be online. They can actually work offline through their app. And then when they are back on Wi-Fi, everything will sync back up and all of their work will upload so they can keep moving along in a nice manner without having had any lost time. So the online practice I was just talking about, I kind of covered this one a little early, I guess, has the offline app for both teachers and students. Included in there are lots of different types of questions. So it could be a drop down, a drag and drop, a fill in the blank, multiple choice. There's even places for students to record themselves. They can have a sample of them speaking. As a teacher, you have access to that as well. And lots of games and activities for practice. With the wide variety of question types, it's a lot of, you could use it for test prep as well. So your students are well on their way to taking all of these digital assessments that the state is asking for without having to really give them any, this is how you take the test prep. They'll have had lots of practice with that already and be well on their way. So the classroom presentation tool is just what I was talking about. We are doing great on time. So I'm going to actually leave this PowerPoint for a moment so that we can go out and go live to look at our classroom presentation tool. So this is going to be a time zones presentation tool. And you would see, if you first log in, you can see all of the units here. When you click on one of the units, the student book and the workbook both show up, but you can toggle back and forth. We're going to jump into just the student book to take a look at it. You'll see that all the different pieces of the unit are there to be able to go through, and you can clear at the top and work to the bottom. But if you are, let's say it's Wednesday and you're starting with the reading section, you can jump right here to the reading section. So we're going to go in here and start at the preview right at the beginning of the unit so you can see what it looks like. And you'll see this is what the first opening unit looks like for the students. You can, from here, toggle to a single page or a double page spread. We have a magnifier, so you could pull up the unit goals to be able to preview it a little bit bigger. You can call out just one section to be able to see what's larger. Sorry, our faces are in the way now. Gotta love Zoom calls when the pictures are in the way. So from here, they also have tools that you can use. So there's pencil and highlighter, eraser. There is also a timekeeper. So if you wanted to have the kids name things and have a certain amount of time, or try and work on an activity for a certain amount of time. And then we also have this great, anywhere you see 3 dots, it means the activity is interactive for you to do with your students. So this interactivity just actually pops up right here when you need to use it. There's sound for them to be able to hear the question being read aloud to them, and then they can do drag and drop. You could do it all together as a class, or they have a similar type of activity in their online practice, which is their like homework center. So we see Sarah likes to blank. She does it twice a week. Without hearing what they said, I'm going to say, plays the guitar. I'm going to kind of just guess here to see how we do. And then we can check our work. Not so well without listening to what they want you to pick there, but you get the idea of how the activities look. And then when you're here and you see where it says, listen, there's audio and video support right at point of view. So you just need this one piece to be able to teach daily. So it will walk you through each piece of the book. Again, every place you see these 3 dots, you get to have an activity that you can do interactively with the students. So that's a quick overview of the student book. Let's take a look at the workbook really quick so you can see that as well. And the workbooks are, this is an exact copy of what the students have, meant to be a preview for them so that you can walk through and talk them through the exercises first, or go through as a correction time together so that you'd be able to check and see what they've done and how well they've understood their activities that they've done. So a great way to keep them engaged right now with distance learning, as well as in the classroom, a really simple way to be able to present everything and have a simple way to check and make sure everything is going well and that they're on task. So from there, I'm going to go back to here. And let's see, I don't want to be there. Let's see. Started me at the top. Let me go back to the bottom. And here we go. So just a quick recap of these programs that we have, and I'm going to let Eric Redenberg come off of his mute for a minute and talk about this fourth, the ones listed here. Our World Look and Time Zones listed here at the top are our programs that include the starter level for our newcomers. And then roll your students right into another piece of the program. But some of you may be familiar with Inside the USA. Inside the USA is another newcomers program that National Geographic Learning has, and it's had some updates. So Eric, are you with us, and can you share some of those updates that have been made to Inside the USA?
Thank you, Rachel. Yes, I'd be happy to. Basically, for those of you who are familiar with Inside the USA, this can accompany, as a newcomer program, it takes about 8 to maybe 12 weeks, usually 8 to 10 weeks for those newcomers that come in. Everything's right there in the kit for them, and it can be used along with pretty much any program at the middle school and high school level. Our existing programs, which you're probably very familiar with, are for the middle school, it's Inside. It's called Inside, and then the high school level is called Edge. And these are programs that have been adopted by the state and recognized and used for many years. Now, this particular newcomer program never had a real digital piece to it. However, with the pandemic this past year, we quickly try to change that, and we have changed that. So there's an enhanced version of this now that is available that you can purchase at a reasonable price. And it basically has the worksheets and activities that are in that box that you would be normally doing in the classroom, as well as the little readers that you have as well. So those are now available online. So that is a new change for the Inside the USA for people who are currently using it. And for those who are not using it, if you're interested, later, I think Rachel and Kate will tell you how to reach out to your representative. Back to you.
Thanks, Eric. So we have, we tried to be very mindful of our time. 40 minutes goes really quickly, and in paring down our time of presenting, we have left plenty of time for us to have questions. I know we have quite a few reps on the line or on the Zoom who can help answer some questions too, or possibly put their info in the chat, but I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing and come back on the screen to be here. So if anybody has questions that we can answer for you, please go ahead and let's see. I'm going to take a peek at the chat and see if I see there are lots of questions in the chat. So let's go through here.
Rachel, can I just jump in again and say one thing?
Yes.
Vicki Rothwell is one of our representatives. Vicki, could you maybe put in chat the how to contact one of our representatives here in California? We have 12 sales consultants throughout California that can help you if you have any questions about these materials. So she's going to put into the chat the list of the representatives that you can cut and paste or pull into your thing. So Vicki's going to do that in a second. So go ahead,
Sure
Rachel.
will. Yes,
Thank you, Vicki.
you're welcome.
So I see a question, how can I get access to National Geography resources? So the National Geographic Learning is the publishing side of the society. And so we integrate some of their material into our content. And so for those kind of things, then you would purchase some of the textbooks or online access to the resources that go along with those programs. Other than that, there are different things that the society offers with the TV show and the magazine and things like that. But once Vicki puts the reps information in the chat, that's going to be your best resources to reach out to the person who's in your local area to help get you any kind of samples or access to anything that you need. So I see a question about, is there anything for high school? I think that we may have been that question before we got to our high school materials, but Kate went over that and talked about our K-8 materials versus our 9-12. And even the 9-12, there are additional products that weren't even on that slide. So if you're looking for something in particular, be sure to ask your rep and they can get you specifics on which program might be best for you. So just going through, I see a question for where do we find these resources? So these resources are available. You can go to the National Geographic Learning website or contact your rep in your area. Then they can help you get samples of these, and we're happy to send out print samples or digital samples for you to be able to take a look at the programs and see a sort of sample unit online.
Another question, can this be purchased by individual teachers or only school districts? I will let Eric field that one.
Honestly, I mean, yes, you can. It's actually, we tend to work more with the districts on a bigger scale, and so we usually take purchase orders and things like that. Honestly, you guys, if you want to see a particular sample copy, we'd be more than happy to send you a free sample copy with no obligation. So if you just want to look at as possible consideration for adoption, again, reach out to us and we can get you a sample copy.
Right, and I see a question, are there class sets available or memberships to access? You can buy however you want, whichever kind of configuration you want to purchase. You could buy a whole class set of books, you could buy class access to the digital, the online resources. You could buy one for, well, we'll send you one free for a sample, but you could buy if you have a small group you're working with. However, we want to be accommodating to you to make sure your needs are being met as a teacher. Our goal as a publishing company is to make sure we're helping make your job easier so that you can spend more time with your students. So we try to make the purchasing really simple and easy to do and work with you in any kind of configuration that you have. I see a question, are there programs that target adult learners? Yes, we do have adult programs as well. I'm going to go ahead and pop my email address into the chat. And if you have questions about adult learning or adult programs, you can email me and we'll get you connected with one of our adult reps, because the reps that are here are K-12. Just making sure I spelled it correctly while I'm talking and typing. But if you have adult ed questions, go ahead and email me and I can get you connected with them. A specific rep for middle school. So our reps work on a geographic area. So make sure, I don't know if Vicki, did you get a chance to pop that in the chat yet?
I'm having difficulty. I sent it to Eric and he's going to try and send it. I'm having trouble with my Zoom. I had this problem earlier, so
Okay.
we'll get it in the chat. Hopefully Eric can do it.
Okay. If not, we can always just put Eric's email and then everybody can email Eric and he'll filter all those.
Actually, that's not a bad idea. I'll just do that right now, guys.
Okay.
That's one point of any kind of questions you might have regarding this. You can contact me. How does that sound?
Yeah, so you'll have Eric and you'll have mine. I can help answer and filter to the right K-12 rep as well. So either one of us, you'll have two different email addresses to have for reference to be able to reach out to us, and we'll get you to the right person. Oh, Patrick, that's the sales consultant link? Yes, okay, Patrick just put a PDF in there that has all the sales consultants for K-8, for K-12, sorry, K-12 reps. So there's a download in there to everybody. And then Eric put his information as well. So now you have my email, you have Eric's email, and you have the CABE card. Go ahead and download that and you'll have all the K-12 reps for California. You can look and see which county you live in or work in, and that person can help direct you to get you whatever you need. So I'm just trying to look and read questions at the same time. So samples too. So Julie, once you download that PDF, you can either direct to the rep in your area, or if you want to reach out to Eric or I, we can help you get you the samples that you're looking for, so that we can make sure you get what you need. So I think I got everything in the chat as far as questions. But does anybody else have questions that they didn't get to ask in the chat, or they want to come off mute and ask? Anybody feeling brave? Oh, I do see one more question that I must have passed up. Is there a digital update for EDGE curriculum with interactive online dashboard and learning platform for students? So I'll start this answer and then I'm going to let Eric finish if I don't answer it completely for David. I guess my first question for you, David, would be, which version of EDGE are you using? Our most recent version of EDGE has an updated platform called MyNG Connect that does have interactivity for the students. It has an ebook. The workbook pages are all there, downloadable as interactive PDFs that can be filled in and then submitted to teachers. All the video and audio support is there, as well as any other resource that might be part of the program.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Basically, you stated it, Rachel. So that's the 2013 copyright of EDGE. And there's also a program called Comprehension Coach, which allows the students to practice their oral fluency, and they can record themselves and the teachers can hear that recording as well. And then there's tons and tons of assessment on there as well that they can take online, and it can be self-corrected, auto-corrected for them as well. So there's lots of many digital features on the 2014 version.
So David, if you are not using that program, if you haven't seen it or you're not using the newer EDGE, reach out to your rep and they can help get you set up with a demo so you can check that out and see what kind of resources are there. That's what you're looking for.
And I think those of you who are familiar with EDGE, as many of you might be, I think one of the big differences between Inside and EDGE and kind of the newer, some of the newer English language learning books is that Inside and EDGE really focus in very heavily on reading and writing. You know, these are big, thick, hardcover books that, you know, if you've got a lot of time with your ELs every day, an hour, 2 hours plus, this is really these are really well-built programs. If you were more limited on time and maybe more limited on budget, some of our newer programs might be a better fit for you. Again, we've got the balance of reading, writing, listening, speaking. But if your students have, you know, heavy deficits in reading and writing, then Insight and Edge for middle school and high school are just kind of the gold standard there as well.
So another question just came in asking if there's a lower level than fundamentals for Edge, and that is the lowest level for Edge. But if your students are struggling, you might want to consider asking about one of these programs we just shared about to start them off and then let them work their way up to being in Edge. They might need some of those basic skills that are kind of assumed for the fundamentals that they already have, but being that they're high schoolers. So please make sure you reach out to your rep and they can help you, get you samples of these, get you some digital access even to play around online with any of the programs. So I'm reading one more question that just came about seeing student responses live.
Well, I was going to say really quickly,
go ahead.
Too, for the person that just said, you know, is there anything below Edge? I would definitely say World English would be a really good, I think would be a really good way to segue into Edge. It's at a lower language proficiency level, but there are 2-page spreads where that are beautifully done, easy to tackle, and boost student confidence. So I would say that's one that you ought to find out about from your local rep.
Yes.
So I'm just going to add a comment here because I'm a former ESL teacher myself and taught for many years, and I'm just very excited to see this colorful, motivating type of material finally getting here to the K-12 market, really, to all of you. The focus up until this point, of course, has been on state standards, literature, etc. And what this new Nat Geo approach is doing is really, as they mentioned earlier, bringing the world to the classroom, you know, and for many of our students, they don't get much beyond their own zip code. And so to have this kind of content that is exciting and motivational really makes a huge difference for them. And as we know, motivation is more than half the battle with our students. So we hope you all enjoy this kind of stuff. And again, I'll say on the part of our sales consultants here in California, feel free to reach out with any kind of question you have, and we'd be very happy to assist and get you some sample copies, because you cannot make a decision until you see a sample copy. Thanks for joining us, and thank you, Rachel and Kate. We really thank you.
It's our pleasure. Sorry, I'm just responding to a few direct messages that have come in. So I'm sorry if I'm a little distracted, but we really enjoyed our time with you. Thank you for joining us on this Friday afternoon. And please don't hesitate to reach out to any one of us to get you some samples or answer any further questions. We're here to help.
Thank you so much.
You guys.
We do have about 2 more minutes if anybody has just one maybe final question to us.
One question, please. One question, Paul here. So my question is that, did you guys send a link for the teachers to explore a little bit to see what it's about? Is that a link that will work for us, for teachers?
Yes. Yes, so I noticed that Peter put a link into our ESL ELD programs. So that will take you to the catalog.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
thank
and you can check them out there. But please feel free to reach out to any of the reps or to Eric or myself if you want any additional information. We have some really great interactive brochures that we can share with you, some sample units, or we're happy to send out a print sample as well.
Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We will now be taking our 10-minute break before you enter your next workshop. Remember to review the program and select the session you would like to attend. And thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen as well. Thank you, everybody. Have a good afternoon and enjoy the rest of your GABE virtual conference.
Thank you.
very
Thanks for
much.
having us.
Thank you. Bye-bye.